Hey guys, it's Kelly. I'm going to work on my mini art journal. It's page 21. I'm excited. That was my last page, kind of like a spread. This one kind of oozed over into this one, and I love them. But I'm going to work outside of my book because if you can tell, it's getting kind of thick. But this is the next page, but it's going to be hard to work in here. So I'm just going to work on some paper that I have, and it's mixed media paper. And I'll tell you what I use. This is Strathmore mixed media paper, and I like this paper because it is a good. It's a good size. I cut it down. It's 6.5 by 8 inches, but I cut it down to 4.5 by 5.5 to fit in my book. But this paper it's great for mixed media, and I like it because it's smooth on both sides. So it doesn't have a lot of watercolor paper has texture to it. Sometimes I like that, sometimes I don't, because the texture kind of takes the color and does its own thing with it and creates texture in it, which can be good, but this is mixed media paper that I prefer. It's 140-pound paper too, so it's nice and thick. So I really love this paper. It's a little pricey, but that's what I'm using, and I like it. I get a lot of people say, what kind of paper are you using? So there we go. So my idea here is a take on some other things that I've seen is I wanted to do a little fatty snowman, and I have some really cute stamps, but they're kind of too whimsical for me. So what I did was I got in my paper, and there we go. Let me put him aside. I got into my paper pads. This is a Cloud9 Designs, very, very old pad. And I don't remember if I actually bought this or if I got this, or if I bought this from one of my YouTube friends or when they were destashing. It might have been from Tara. I can't remember. I'm not sure. But Cloud9 Designs, and I just went through here and found some paper that I like and cut them into circles. So here's some of the paper that I picked out, some fun stuff. So I just cut them into circles. And then I just took a piece of white cardstock and just made a nose. So what I envision here is a fatty, fatty snowman. And I think I like him this way. With you can't see his eyeballs because he's got his head back and he's got a big old smile and he is dancing his booty off. So here we go. So I just freehand cut these little suckers. Because I like the imperfection of it. I used my hole punchers at first, and they were perfectly round circles. I was like, no, that's not working for me. It needs to be imperfect and ovally shaped, because he's a fatty. He's a happy fatty. So I'm going to put these pieces aside. Of course, I'll ink them. So here's my paper. And here's my book. So I'm going to put that up. I'll probably edit some of this, but I have a new camera. It's actually a webcam. And it's recording straight to Movie Maker. And I think the quality is a little compromised, but this is kind of a run with it. And I'm going to see how it goes. I'm going to use, this is a Winsor and Newton watercolor set. For those that don't know, it's the first set I ever bought when I first started getting into watercolor. I just wanted to give it a try because it just looks so soft and easy. Just so easy. And this is how it is. It gets dirty. So I just thought I would try this one set and see how I liked it. And I'm glad that I got it because I like it. Works out well. All right, I got my clean water over here. Let me get my, I'm not sure which one I'm going to use here. I bought these Grumbacher, it's like real hair, and I'm just not liking these brushes. Maybe I'm doing something wrong, but it's like you get it wet and it's all weird. Here, let me show you. So you see how it stays in the, I don't know, maybe I just need to get used to it. And it is holding a lot of water. Maybe, I don't know. I'm going to have to work on it. But I'm not crazy about these, and they were quite a bit more expensive, so I'm kind of disappointed. But I'll see what happens. And these are like my cheaper brushes, and I'm always falling on these. I like these better for some reason, because I'm cheap. All right, I think this is one of them. All right, so I want my background to be bluish, just a really, really light blue. I almost put my brush in my tea. That would have been nice. And I know you can't see this color, but this color is a little bit light. So I think I'm gonna kind of mess with this. There's a little bit of white in there too, so I'm gonna lighten it up. I don't want it to be overpowering. I want it to just be a very, very light blue. So I'm kind of liking how that's looking. I'm just gonna wash it over it, just to add some color in my background. There's no gesso, there's nothing on this page, nothing. Just going straight on it. And I'm using this little brush because I know it's going to get wispy. And, you know, there's always a breeze in the winter. So it could be a little wispy background. And some more water. How easy is that? I love watercolor. I'm going to do a little bit more white because I want, whoops, splashing. I want the ground a little more washed out. When I'm reaching over here, for those that don't know, I'm just getting my brush in the water. There, I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Washing my brush. All right, so some of this is probably going to be real time, and then some of it is going to be edited, I'm sure, because I work slow. But I'm going to let this dry, and I'll be right back. Okay, hey guys, we're going to get this done if it kills me, because I love how cute he is. So hopefully you can see on here that I drew, so proud of myself, I actually drew a stick. I drew some crazy sticks for his arms. And then this is just a piece of packaging that I cut to make some hills in the background. So maybe you can see this one here. And then I just went over it with a pencil to find out where I wanted them. And I'm going to ink these a little bit. And I was going back and forth like how I was going to do it. And I'm just going to ink them just a little bit with tumbled glass, just to kind of highlight them, to show some depth in the background. And then the other thing that I had done kind of off screen is I like to use my tissue paper all the time, but I really like to use my tissue paper to test out a stamp, to put it for placement, because I know I want to stamp it directly on my project, and I don't want to Mod Podge it on. So I want to stamp it directly on. So this is my little tester. I'm trying to make sure I stay in the screen. This is my tester just to say, do I want it here? Do I want it here? Where do I want it? And I've decided that I like it right about there. And then I'm going to have these little snowflake things. Okay, aren't they cute? They're so tiny. And I got them from a Martha Stewart border punch. So when I punched it in just regular copy paper, I saved all the little snowflakes. And not the teeny tiny ones, but I saved all the snowflakes. And I'm probably going to stickle them, because that would be easier. They're so small. I think I'll just glue them and then stickle on top of them to make them shine like pretty snowflakes. So that's my plan, and I hope it's going to work out. So let's get her done. And then I'll just color his arms brown and this little guy orange. So yeah, but I think I'm going to do this background first. I hope it works out, because I don't know. I'm not sure about it. So we're going to see. Is this the one I used? No. What is this one? I'm all confused. It was this one. I'm going to bring you guys out a little bit to the correct zoomage. Okay. Maybe in a little bit. There we go. I just don't want to go out. Okay, so I have my tumbled glass, and I'm going to follow the design that I had on here, and I think I'm going to do this one first. This is the one down low. So you can use this. It's just a little stencil, and it's just nothing new. I mean, people do this all the time. But you can do this just to make your little hills in the background. Sometimes it works out really good, sometimes it doesn't. And I just want it kind of at the tip. So yeah, I like how that looks. And I know that a smaller sponge would be better, but I'm just using what I got. So, and this is what I got. And I don't want to fuss with other sponges, so I'm just going to do it like this. Okay, that one, a little darker maybe. A little darker at the top, because I'm going to stickle over it. Or glitter, I'm not sure. I don't want glitter in my book might be a little overwhelming. I love glitter, but I don't love the mess it makes. So, and I drew this in pencil before I'm doing this because I wanted to make sure my placement was right, because once I get this ink down, it's kind of stuck there. And I don't want to go over this one. There we go. So that adds a little depth in the background. I think that's really, I hope you can see that. And then I had this one. Oh, I turned it over, yeah. And the snowman's going to be here, so I just want a little bit on this side. Okay. Yeah, I like how that turned out. So it's just a piece of acetate. It doesn't have to be acetate. It can be whatever you want. But with the holidays coming up, I know I'm going to want, you know, mountains in the background. I don't know. So I'm just going to keep it. I'm going to keep it and reuse it. Because if it's on the paper sucks up more of my ink. And then when I turn it over, I can't just wash it off. You know, I just wipe it off if I want. But with the acetate, whatever ink you put on it, you just run your baby wipe over it, you know, clean it off, and then it's not going to contaminate this other area with ink because, as you know, distress inks are pretty wet. So, I don't know, just a thought I would share. And then these little guys, what I think I'm going to do, and I hope I'm going to like it, because I usually just go straight for black ink on these, but I think I'm going to do a little different this time. I just need a Sharpie. That's blue, but I don't care. And I'm going to do his smile. His fatty smile. Oh, there we go. Okay. And then what I'm thinking I'm going to try is finding a distress ink that I have that is close to these colors and distressing the edges of each one in its appropriate color. Like this one I have, oh, I'm out of screen. Hold on. For this green one, I have Mowed Lawn. So I think that would be the best match for that. And then let me get my reds. I've got Barn Door and Fire Brick. So I think that Fired Brick would go best with this one, and then Barn Door would go best with that one. And we'll see how they work. Okay, so I tried a couple of these in the colors matching them, and I don't like how it's looking. It's not popping enough, and I want them to be defined. So I need to, yeah, it didn't work out as well as I hoped. So it's no big deal. That's how you find out what works. I'm going to go with frayed burlap around the edges. I don't want it to be so overwhelming, but I want it to be noticeable. So, and I'm hoping this one will do the trick. If not, I'll go darker. So, I'm just going to do them all in the same color. And this one is the darkest, so that's the one I'm going to start with. Yeah. And I'm not sure if That's going to be dark enough even. No, it's not working for me. When in doubt, use black soot. And I wonder if I have, yep. I like this better already. Way better. And I can highlight him with some white if I want, but I like that he is a colorful snowman. So I'm trying to do more of these videos when I'm working and talking to you, because I've had some comments that really good feedback where people are like, you know, I feel like I'm right there with you in your craft room, like we're buddies and we're hanging out. And I love that connection. I love that. I've got people that I follow and I watch, and they do videos as they go. They edit some of it, and that's fine. That's what we all do. But I like when you're talking. Sometimes it's a little more rehearsed when they're doing a voiceover. For me, I'm just winging it throughout my whole life, so I can't rehearse anything. I just go. I just do it. Okay. So we'll lay my guy out. I hope I don't get black ink in the background here. Look how cute. Oh, nope, happy. Oh, happy face. He's doing a little dance. I love him. Okay, now we got to do his nose. And I am going to go with spiced marmalade. That's really the only orange I have. Oof. And if that isn't orange enough, I'll add some red. I just did that. Did you ever do that? Just like, yeah, I shouldn't have done that. I'm just going to push them straight on my pad. And then use a little brush and some water. We love the speckles on there. I think I'll keep that. Not quite orange enough for me. I hope you guys can see the speckles on it. You probably can't, but I think it's cool. Carrot nose. Okay. So those need to dry a little bit, and while I put those aside to dry, I'm going to work on his arms.
Okay, this part I have to do a voiceover for because it just took a while. It's coloring. So I was just working on his arms and I decided to use bark, and bark is the darker color and the other one is baked earth is what that's called. And I like the two different tones. The lighter tone that kind of has a little bit of a gold to it, some more red in it, and then the darker color. So I just kind of colored him in real lightly, and took the tiniest little tip brush I had, and a little bit of water, and just brushed it through until they were blended kind of nicely. And gave him some stick arms. So sorry about the shading in and out. I've got a new camera, I'm trying it out. Not sure if I'm going to keep it. But now I'll go back to talking to you while I go.
Okay, I decided to emboss my Let It Snow in blue. This is Stupendous Lapis, and it's opaque. And I got this at my local craft store. Don't remember which one. So I'm going to use Versamark. Oh, I can never. Oh, and I always forget to do this. This little guy. That's my little dust thing, so the embossing powder doesn't go everywhere. Only goes where I want it to go, which is on the Versamark ink. Okay. And I decided I liked them right here. There we go. I've got my little paper to catch it. Which I should have under me, I know, but it's got some print on there that I can't show on screen. Scrap paper that I'm using for work, from work. So I'm just taking my thing over here, and I'm getting the dust off. And then I'm going to pour it in my jar. I love this blue embossing powder. It's one of my favorites. Okay, and I got some little stragglers on there, so I'm going to use one of my really, and I noticed it didn't catch there very good, but I'm just brushing off some of the little extra ones. I'm really not going to freak out about it. It's no big deal. Now I'm going to heat it up. Ooh, I love it. I love it, I love it, I love it. You guys see how it shines? It's perfect. Exactly what I needed. Okay. I think I'm ready to glue my guy down. And I'm just going to use this glue. Why not? It's the last of my quick dry adhesive. So I'm stirring it upside down. And I went and bought more, and they don't have them in these caps anymore. Ah, I love the cap. Oh well, what are you going to do? I like him to be a little crooked. And his head needs to be dancing. A little off to the side. I hope you guys are liking my fatty little snowman. He's so much fun. I love him. I need some tweezers so I can handle this little guy. And I don't know where they went. I don't know where my favorite tweezers went. So I'm going to have to use my not favorite tweezers, which are these. There we go. Oh my gosh, how stinking cute is that? I love it. Oh, I hope you guys like it as much. Okay. I'm going to need to find my tweezers because I'm going to have to put, oh, there they are, I found them. I got to put all my little snowflakes. Such a mess. Go in here. All my snowflakes. Now, I don't know if I'm going to use them all. But there they are. I'm going to start placing them. I think I'm going to do my stickles. No, I better not because my stickles will be all wet. I do that every time. And these will show up more once I get the stickles on them, because they're kind of disappearing a little bit in the background, but if they were bigger I could pop them up. But I might actually put a few on him. So I'm going to play with the placement here of all of these little snowflakes, and I'll be right back. I mean, it's just a matter of putting it down where you want it. So I'll place them all and get them glued down, and I'll be right back. Okay, I got all my snowflakes down. Aren't they cute? I love it. Last thing I'm going to do with my stickles is, and I did a little bit of it, and I thought, well, maybe I'll record this. So I just glued them down, and then I stickled every one. And I have to be really light with my stickles because I have distress ink underneath this. It will smear. So I'm barely just light circles and putting a tiny bit on the very tips of my mountains back there. I don't want to overwhelm it with stickles because there is such a thing as too much, believe it or not. Hard to imagine, I know, but there is. Okay. Just the lightest little bit, just to highlight them a little bit more. And I thought about putting some little white doodle lines on my snowman, but I think it gets too busy, and I like that he just goes pow right off of this. And I love it. I love it, I love it, I love it. So the only other thing I want to do before we call this sucker done is, I think I'm going to use some Salty Ocean on the outsides. Every time I try to do something new, instead of just using black, I don't really like it too much. So, you know, we'll just try it. So we'll see how it looks. And I have to be very careful. Gosh, I'm the worst. I'm so impatient. I don't want to wait for everything to dry. I want to do it. I love it. I have got to I'm going to reproduce this. Okay. I don't know how much. So, obviously everything that we create and we share out of the goodness of our heart. But this guy's copyrighted. I've created him. And I think I'm going to make cards out of them because I absolutely love how it's going. This is page 21 of my book, but the more I did it, the more I was like, this is the cutest card ever. So, and it's so simple. It's not a hard one at all. I really like that blue, my Salty Ocean blue on the outside. It's super cute. Ooh, I love it. Yeah, be careful, no smearing. I am the queen of stickle smearing. And if you notice my snowflakes, I put them just going off the page here and there. I thought that was cute too. That's always a cool element to add, I think, to have things either coming in onto the page or just flying off the page. I've done that a few times in some other videos, like with moths and birds. Not a new concept, but just thought I'd point that out. So there we go. I really like that with the blue. All right. So now I'm going to put them in my book. Where's my book? And the paper's really thick. So he's probably not going to want to bend. But he's like the perfect size to put in my book. So there it is. Page 21. I should probably write down here. Today is, I started yesterday, but today is 11, 13, 15, and my initials, which have changed. So there it is. I'll take some stills too. I know the lighting is not catching everything and it goes in and out, but I hope you guys can see how shiny and cool and awesome it is. So he's such a fatty and so happy. I'm so pleased with it. I'm going to be making Christmas cards and reproducing this guy because he's just too cute. All right, guys, hope you like it. And I know Thanksgiving isn't here yet, but I was feeling the snowman deal, so I went with it. All right, thank you so much, guys, for watching. I'm going to have more to come, some really exciting thing to share with you coming up next. All right, thanks.
He is such a cute, happy, fatty snowman. I hope you like him.